The tattoo business is said to be the 6th fastest growing retail business at the moment, with 36% of 18 to 25-year-olds having at least one tattoo. But where do tattoos come from? Why do people get them? And most importantly, what are the risks?
Originally I was at university doing animation for Disney, and it come time to go over to Florida to get a scholarship with them, and it would have cost me too much money to go over. So my husband bought me a tattoo gun and let me tattoo him, which was a big mistake really, because I tattooed like his bones because I didn't know how to set up the instrument or anything. Some tattooists can't draw and they just trace. I think you need to know about art and have to be able to draw to be a tattoo artist, because it's the same sort of thing. I do consider it to be an art form. I've had parents coming in asking can their 12-year-old daughter or son to be tattooed if they sign for it, which obviously is illegal anyway, so it's not possible. So it's normally 18. And I believe the oldest person that I've tattooed was 85. Well, the one that sticks in my mind is quite funny is Where's Wally? And you can imagine where that would be.
The first person that we know of who had tattoos was Ötzi the Iceman. He was about 5,300 years old. So he was a man living in the Neolithic, and he was discovered in the Alps. He'd frozen to death, he was caught in a snowstorm, and so his body was preserved. So when they looked at that, they found 58 tattoos on his body. They were a series of dots and lines, no fancy designs, but they were in parts of his body that had arthritis, so it's believed that they were kind of done as a kind of medical thing. The Egyptians had tattoos probably around about the same time. There's small statues been discovered with tattoos marked on them. They're usually women or young girls, so it would be dancing girls, which would be performing in religious ceremonies. But all over the world there was people being tattooed from ancient times on. We know that the Celts used woad to paint themselves and possibly to use as a dye for tattooing. And woad has got antiseptic qualities. So maybe someone cut themselves, they rubbed the woad plant on to stop it from getting infected, and after it healed, there was a mark there, and so they decided they could do it on purpose to make tattoos. If we look at tattooing in Britain, the first people to really bring tattooing over were the sailors that came back from Captain Cook's expeditions in the Pacific. And so they were copying the Pacific style, but then the sailors that brought them back developed their own style, with their own meanings as well. So if you had a sailing ship tattooed on you, it meant that you'd sailed around the Cape of Good Hope, for instance. There are people who sharpen bamboo. I've seen someone who tattoos in a Viking style with sharpened bone. So people can still do that. Some of the objects we got in the museum from early tattooing are basically, it's like a small comb, and the comb was tapped in, so quite sharp teeth on the comb, and it was tapped in, and then the dye would be rubbed into the wound.
I would consider getting a tattoo, but I mean, I'm not really going to go for Cheryl Cole's thing outside there.
It's like
a little ridiculous.
It's too over the top.